Welcome again to GMan Boxing, and welcome to the weekend. And believe it or not, there is a ton of boxing on this weekend, but none of it's from Britain. But there's a couple of cards in Mexico, a few others. There's a few small all shows, I think, floating around in Britain, but you might be able to see them on YouTube. I think Seconds Out are doing one. But yeah, that's not the purpose of this video. Just thought I'd point that out in case you weren't aware. But a lot of people say to me, which are the best boxing channels on YouTube, or what are the ones that you like anyway, because you know whether you like them or not subjective. And I think the first thing to determine is, what are you looking for in a boxing channel? Well, I look for obviously the person doing the channel has to have knowledge. I like the fact that, well, they have to be objective. I'm not interested in fanboys, and I want to sort of listen and think, even if I think, well, I don't agree with that, at least it's made me think, you know what I mean? I don't like echo chambers. I've always said on my videos, if you disagree with me, that's fine. You do it respectfully, I'll have a chat with you. So in other words, I like a mature adult conversation on boxing. And in the case of my channel, I mean, you might say, who are you to, you know, to give your opinion? You've only got 2,000 subscribers. But that's not bad, you know, because I started out, I think I've got 2,200 subscribers now, but I started out just doing this for a laugh, just because I would, you know, for years I watched other people's channels, and there were a lot of good ones, but there's also a lot of very bad ones, and clearly the people didn't know what they're talking about, and I thought, well, I think I do know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to have a bash doing my own channel. And then other people helped me a great deal. There are a few people that helped me, certainly GMan over at GMan Boxing helped me a great deal, and there are a few others who put a shout out for me, and gradually, to my astonishment, I ended up with over 2,000 subscribers, which, when really I thought, if I can get to 500, that's decent. When I got to 1,000, I thought, you know, well, my Christmases have come at once. 2,000, that was a bit of a shock, but anyway, it is what it is. You know, I just enjoy doing it. You know, I don't make any money out of it, no real money. I make drips and drabs, but what are my favourite channels? Well, I would say, I mean, I like different channels for different reasons. So I'm going to go through a few. This is not a comprehensive guide, but I've got to start with GMan Boxing, because I think he's a terrific guy, Irish lad. If you're probably aware of GMan. I think he's got about 12,500 subscribers now, the lucky so-and-so, but he's doing great, and he knows his stuff, and real personable guy, very honest, very you know, very sort of he's very objective about things, doesn't really have his favourites, but just says it as it is, and I like that. So big shout out to GMan. Others in no particular order, I really like Boxing Beats and Rhymes. I think whenever I watch one of his videos, he makes me think. Again, that's very important, and a lot of the time I will think, yeah, he's got a point, I hadn't thought of that. So I really like him. I've been on his a couple of his hangouts. He seems like a nice fella. I don't know the fella, but always very, very good, informative videos that make you think, from a bloke who clearly doesn't just understand the modern game, but understands the history of the sport. He has a lot of knowledge about the history of the sport, and I think that's important, because you can compare and contrast the modern game with the historical, in a historical perspective. So Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Other ones would be, I think if you want breakdowns, technical breakdowns, I would go with Chris Andre. I think he does excellent technical breakdowns. No one does them better, really. I don't really do that many technical breakdowns, because I just, for some reason, I just don't feel I can articulate what I want to say as well as Chris does. I don't know whether Chris does any preparation on his videos, like proper preparation. I mean, not just a cursory glance at stuff, but which is what I do. I sort of have a look around, look at people's records or whatever. But Chris really seems to know his stuff. He's very, very good indeed, very good. So Chris Andre, I recommend him. There's an American lad called Mighty Max Boxing. I think he's only about 17, 18, maybe at the most, but he knows his stuff. And when you look at, don't want to sound patronising or anything, but the fact that he is so young, when there are people out there who know that much about boxing and they're that age, it makes you realise, well, maybe boxing's in good hands for the future. You know, and that comes from someone who's, I mean, I must be nearly 40 years older than him, but you know, I've followed the game most of my life, and he is obviously the next generation, and he's very, very good. He's knowledgeable, gives predictions, does breakdowns. I like him a lot. Mighty Max Boxing. Hatman, of course, one of the oldest channels. I like his videos a lot. I think he gives his views and explains things in a very crisp, coherent way, very precise, and I just think he's been doing YouTube for years, but I just think he's usually very, very fair with people, and yeah, you probably know Hatman. I mean, what's he got, 80 or 90,000 subscribers? Pretty amazing. So yeah, very, very much like his channel. There's Outmatch Boxing. I think he's quite underrated, really. Outmatch. I like his videos a lot. He has a very sort of calm. I think he's a strength and conditioning. That's his background, but he gives a very sort of calm, balanced view of things. That's a very good. Very good boxing channel. Outmatch. Punch Perfect. He does good breakdowns. Jamie, I think the lad's name is. He's very, very good. He hasn't been on YouTube much lately, but maybe he's doing other things. But his videos are he's very, very informative. Knows his stuff. Again, you've got to know your stuff, or at the very least, if you don't know something, you admit it. You don't pretend to be something you're not. You know what I mean? So I would definitely recommend his channel, Punch Perfect. Who have I missed out? I'm sure I'm going to finish this video and then think, oh, should I mention so-and-so? Well, while I'm trying to have a think about that, I just wanted to also add that a few people have said to me, oh, I'm thinking of starting a boxing channel, should I do it? And I always say, yeah, do it, because it's a good laugh. It doesn't cost you anything. I mean, you can record it on your phone and put them on YouTube, and you know, I'll give you a bit of a shout out, maybe some others can, and we'll try and build your channel up. But it's good fun because you meet other people, you meet other boxing fans, and you just chat to them. And you know, I've made some people, some really, you know, decent friends through YouTube. Even if they're over the hills and far away, you know, I still sometimes have a long chat with people about boxing and other things, and it's a good way of communicating. So I really recommend that you do it. But again, if you want some advice, again from a modest channel, I would say let's stick to what you know. If you don't know something, be honest and say, I don't know that. You know, leave your comments below, because that's what it's all about, riffing off each other. And go for it, and just do it as a no frills thing. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, does it? And you'll have a laugh doing it. Yeah. So the only reason, I've said this before, the only reason I started this channel is because I was off work. I was sick, physically sick that is, and I was in a lot of pain, and I thought I don't want this to affect my sort of mental or emotional health. So what I'll do is I'll occupy my mind. And this was one of the reasons I got started. My channel is nearly 2 years old. It'll be 2 years old. I think the first video was on the 8th of October, 2 years ago. So another few weeks and we're there, another 3 or so weeks. And yeah, I mean, I've had a great time doing it. And obviously, thank you to all of you for subscribing and watching my videos. It's really fantastic. So give it a go. If you want to do a channel, give it a go. And if you've got any questions, you want any sort of, you know, advice, by all means, ask me, and perhaps when your channel gets going, I can have a word with a few others and we'll promote your channel. But yeah, just thought I'd go through that. Those are some channels I really like. There's an old saying, be yourself, everyone else is taken. So if you do start a channel, don't try and emulate other people, because they're good at what they do. You be good at what you are, what you are and what you do, you know. And yeah, comments below if you've got any, or if you want to ask me any more questions, that's fine. Thank you for your time as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, what can I say, and hit the like button. And yeah, again, I always appreciate your time. See you later. Bye for now.